Play that back one more time, shorty.
Dopamine
You know, I had a
machine.
friend who was dating like a beautiful girl, a really hot model that like she's just a gorgeous girl, drop dead gorgeous. Every guy in LA would love to date her. And he would say that he couldn't be with her because she's had too many sexual partners and he only dated her because he wanted a trophy wife or a girlfriend.
What's up, gentlemen? Good evening and good night. That was Lana Rhoades, and this is Allende with Authentic Alphas. And today what I would like to talk about briefly is why women that think like this are so dangerous.
You know, I had a friend who was dating like a beautiful girl, a really hot model that like she's just a gorgeous girl, drop dead gorgeous. Every guy in LA would love to date her. And he would say that he couldn't be with her because she's had too many sexual partners and he only dated her because he wanted a trophy wife or a
Okay,
girlfriend.
so I'm guessing that most of you guys are actually pretty familiar with this content right here. It was pretty popular when it first came out, so forgive me, I'm a little bit late. But recently, I interviewed a extremely young lady, and yeah, it was kind of like risky. I was like, I don't think I want to get involved with that, but I was just so intrigued by the things that she was saying, and I really wanted to share it with you guys because I thought, wow, like the next generation coming up is really gonna be like, you know, out there. So the Jezebel spirit has definitely taken over, right? So let's get into what these ladies are here talking about. Now, first, I want to say that why I think that women that have the combination of this lifestyle, this type of past, and this type of mindset in combination with clout, popularity, basically a platform or a microphone, are so effing dangerous, because these are the females that the young girls, as young as 14, yes, but these young women are consuming. This is who they're listening to. Now, do you think these women that have a lack of a father in their life, probably don't have necessarily good relationships with male relatives like older brothers, uncles, you know, older male cousins, stuff like that, and grandpas? I mean, imagine how out of touch a grandpa would be with what's going on today. So anyway, let's just, you know, call it what it is. These young girls do not have these men in their lives. So who do you think they're going to listen to? You know, when it comes to content, when it comes to advice, you know, when it comes to, you know, the standard and what they're aspiring to be and, you know, consume in this society, because we are in the extreme materialist and consumer market. Everything is about how many nice things can you have and how quickly and abundantly can you show it off to everyone else. And it's obviously a competition that you can never win. So that's what it is, you know, and these women are trying to live their best life. They're trying to get the bag, you know, they're trying to do it big. And the thing with women is they can do it as young as the breast and, you know, the hips and everything come into play. As soon as they get that starter kit, they can get out here and they can run these streets and they can get into these, you know, luxury cars and supercars with these guys. You know, they can get these handbags, you know, as gifts. They can get flown out, you know, they can go on these trips. All she needs is a body, a pretty face, and a passport. And she can pretty much hoe it up anywhere, right? So I think, well, I don't think, we know that these women having a platform is, it's really going to be bad for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation, because this is the type of information that they're giving young girls. All right, so I said too much without addressing what they already said, so you guys probably already forgot. But basically, she was saying that she had a male friend that was dating a super hot model, but she had been around, and he decided that, you know what, nah, this can't be a trophy wife because of her sexual past. And Lana obviously is like dumbfounded. She doesn't understand it. And it's like, dude, first of all, trophy wife, I think is a term that most women don't understand. They don't understand what it actually means, what it means to men. Obviously, we came up with it. And because these girls are blessed with beauty, they're cursed with beauty. Because what happens is nobody tells them the truth and says, shut up, you dumb bitch. You got this all wrong. Let me mansplain it to you. So you have these idiots up here you know, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but they really are as dumb as they are beautiful. These women over here thinking that they can be the arbiters of what the definition of trophy wife is. They think they can adjust it however they see fit. And I'm gonna go ahead and explain what trophy wife means, at least through my lens. A trophy wife is not only a woman that's very, very attractive, but she is a woman that can be interpreted as a reward to somebody's work. And if she's a trophy, dude, everybody doesn't get one. So just based on definition, if she's been passed around already, and that's common knowledge, she's already disqualified for being a trophy, no matter how beautiful she is, because it's like, I'm the winner. I'm awarded with this trophy, but this trophy has been on several other men's mantle temporarily, and they didn't necessarily earn it or win anything to get it. They were just in the right place at the right time. It might have been their job, you know, sign here, you know, punch in, get to work, and your job is blowing this chick's back out, and then she thinks that later she could be a trophy wife just based on her level of beauty. That's bad enough as it is, but the worst part is that these women think that they could sit around and decide what this all is and what this means and what qualifies a trophy wife and doesn't, yet none of them are marrying women. None of them are making women trophy wives. So who are you to have this conversation and then to tell it to other women with such definity, like, oh, we decided that you can still be a trophy wife if you're beautiful and you're faithful to the current guy that you're with. Hello, we're talking about your past. And as we know, women are very, very much concerned with a man's future, and men are very much concerned with a woman's past, as they should be. So let's go on to the next clip.
And so what does how many sexual partners someone had before you have to do with you being able to be considered a trophy wife or wifey material?
I mean, I personally don't agree. I think a trophy wife is someone that is, you don't have to be a certain standard, looks, or even, I mean, obviously brains as well, but I think it's how you treat that person, and you would want to, you want to be with someone and how they treat you and how good they are for you, not because of how they look. So you can still be a trophy wife and not be a model type or be the smartest, but you're a supportive, loving girlfriend.
She was like a beautiful model, and so that's why he's saying, oh, I thought she was going to be my trophy wife. But that's sort of what you said, how they treat you, is what I would say when he would say that to me. I'd be like, yeah, she might have slept with more people than you liked before you dated her, but since you guys have been together, she's been nothing but faithful and an amazing girlfriend to you. So how dare you say that?
Yeah, I mean, some men just can't get over the past, and they can't stop thinking about who was there before them, and it bothers certain people. But I know a lot of men that are secure in themselves, and they don't care about the past. They don't even ask about the past. Like, that's how you know it's a mature, strong guy, when they don't ask you about your...
Okay, so you guys see what I'm saying? They are just oblivious to what's going on. She said, what does how many people you've been with in the past have to do with being a trophy wife? And it's amazing to me that these women can be so ignorant. I mean, it has everything to do with it. That's the whole point. The whole point is that it's a trophy. This guy has it, other guys want it but can't have it, couldn't get it, didn't make the cut. They didn't qualify to get the trophy. This guy is the winner. He got the trophy. So if she's been around, she can't be a trophy, dude. And the blonde girl comes in with one of the most irritating thing that women say, and beautiful women say it, I think, very often, which is, I disagree. As if their opinion somehow is like Thanos' gauntlet, and it can like change reality. Like, these bitches act like they have the reality stone. Oh, I disagree, therefore. Like, no, dude. Your opinion means the least in this equation right now. And it's real easy. Just ask a guy. Just ask guys. But this is how little women care about what men have to say, even on things that men are the deciders of. It's like your kids can have ice cream for breakfast, but men can't tell you what they want.
I think it's also not even about like having those issues. I think sometimes in a relationship where some guys just might get bored and they just want to bring something up from the past to use against you, or even just when they fight in general, like it could be over bringing the wrong cup of coffee for your significant other, and then that argument is just going to downfall to, well, you've slept with so many people, you're a whore, you know, just because they want to use something against you because they're running out of things to say, or that's just how they feel at the time, like, you know. So I think it's not fair to me. That sounds like not like a narcissistic person, but it's, you know, someone's history. I feel like before you date them, like you kind of know them as a person, and you should already be willing to accept what they have to offer you. Like, you should never mid-relationship start to use something against them that's out of their control. I think that's really not fair.
So the blonde was like, Oh, it's about how, you know, you treat them, and it's, dude, a regular wife is about how she treats you. The word trophy being the prefix to the word wife means it's obviously somehow different than just a wife. So no, a trophy wife is not based on how you treat the guy, you dumb bimbo. Um, wow. And then she goes on to say that the secure guys, they don't care about your past. They don't even ask. So here we are again with assuming that when men are not interested of something, or you know, men are not a fan of something in particular, or they won't tolerate something, they won't accept something, or they're not attracted to something, they don't want it, they're not interested in it. Women start using really emotional and feminine terms like insecure. And I'm going to explain to you guys why that is. As the video goes through, what you're going to see is a lot of projecting, which is the main issue in the miscommunication between men and women. Since women have no idea how different men are and in what ways they're different, they keep on projecting their thought process on men and their emotions on men. I mean, how many times have you seen me conversating with women and running into that brick wall where they try to say, well, men do it. Well, if a guy does it, it's like, yeah, but it's not the same thing. They don't understand that a woman's response to something is not the same as a man's response to it. It's just not the same. So I'm going to give you an example of how it applies to their logic here. When she's like that, the guys that don't have a problem with it aren't even asking about the past. Those are the guys that are strong and secure. That's how you know he's a strong, secure dude. Like, no, that's how you know that he's an idiot and that he's with you out of default because he can't get a quality woman. And when I say quality, obviously I'm talking about mileage. I'm talking about virtue. I'm talking about how many men, you know, have taken a dip in the pool. So, you know, those type of qualities, he can't get it in a beautiful girl, so he's settling for a girl with a bad past. And I remember in high school, there were guys that would date a chick that was already known to be a slut or already, you know, slobbed off a couple of knobs in the auditorium or something. And then this guy ends up wifing her up later on in the school year, and he knows what happened. But what it is that he couldn't get a girl that looks like that, who didn't have that reputation. So he's jumping at the opportunity to basically get this chick out of the sale bin, out of the defective bin. It's kind of like when I go to the art supply store and I can find any imperfection in a canvas. Now they're going to discount that canvas. They're going to be like, all right, bro, we'll give you 30% off, or we'll give you 40% off of this canvas because it's damaged. But as an artist, I can take that canvas and I can repair it, I can paint over it or whatever, and it's just as good as if it was, you know, perfect off the assembly line. Unfortunately, not only can you really not so much do that with a woman, it takes a particular dude to be able to recycle a woman, not physically, but recycle her mentally. And I had some guy jump in the comments and try to tell me that my video about Megan Good was all simp talk, because my point was is how ill her husband handled it. I wasn't justifying him marrying Megan Good in the first place. The point I was making is that that's already done. So now that you already did that, this is how you needed to go about it for it to even have the possibility of working. And he wasn't up to the task. Very, very few men can turn a hoe into a housewife. Saying that it's impossible, I can't agree with that. I can't agree with it because I've seen it and I've done it. So I know that you can inspire a chick to change, and you can assert a type of discipline in her that's going to evolve into a self-discipline where she understands her mistakes and is sworn to not repeat them. Obviously, she's still damaged goods to an extent, but there is a level of game and a level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Ambition, that if the woman has it and you have the right mindset and game to coach her through it, there is a way to get a girl to kind of recover from a lifestyle. For example, if a girl was a drug addict, that doesn't mean she's always going to be a drug addict. If she was a sex addict, doesn't mean she's always going to be a sex addict. If she was an alcoholic, you get what I'm trying to say. But real quick, we need to hurry up and get on to some more of these clips. But what I was saying about the projecting is that she's saying to herself, okay, if it were me, and I found out that this guy had been with a lot of women before me, the first question on her mind, guys, what do you think it would be? The first question a woman is thinking is, how do these other women look? Were these other women more beautiful than me? Were these other women better in bed than me? That's how she's thinking, because she wants to know that I can secure this guy, you know, he hasn't had better or whatever. That's where her thought process is going to be. So what she's doing is projecting that on the guy, thinking that his biggest gripe with her having a sexual past is that he doesn't measure up to the other guys. Oh, it's not about who was there last. It's about who's there now, or who's there before. It's about who's there now. It's like, that's not why men are so turned off by women's sexual past. It's not insecurity or them feeling that they can't measure up to the other guys. It's them thinking, how can I move forward with this chick? You see what I'm saying? How can I trust this chick? How can I make this chick the mother of my children? How can I bring this chick home to my family? How can I be with this woman and other people aren't laughing at me, you know, behind my back every time I'm not in earshot? They're over here, you know, laughing at me, clowning me, saying, yo, this dude's over here wifing up this whore. And also, if he knows that much about your sexual past, how much things are there that he doesn't know? Because some guys can be somewhat okay if they know everything. Like me, my first thing is I gotta know everything. I'm gonna drill a chick until I get her out, I get everything out of her. I'm gonna break her down, everything. I need to know the full, complete past, because in order for me to move forward and decide how I'm gonna handle the chick, I have to know all of the variables. I have to have all the information, guys. All right?
What can happen is, obviously I've experienced this a ton because of my past. Guys will be fine with it at the beginning. Then as those feelings start to develop, they start getting insecure and jealous the more in love with you they are. And then they start questioning, they start going and watching the stuff, and then they start questioning you about it, and they just get very insecure in themselves.
Okay, so I understand exactly what she's describing, but obviously she's interpreting it incorrectly, because women have zero experience, thinking in terms of how men think, putting themselves in our position or our shoes. They just can't do it, bro. They at least they have to wait till after menopause before they can even possibly attempt to do that. But what she's describing is when some type of argument takes place between the guy and the girl, and then eventually the guy gets upset enough that he starts saying things that he's probably kind of been like letting fester and hasn't been addressing. And then she's viewing it as, oh, he's only saying those things because he's trying to hurt my feelings because he's running out of things to say. All right. I hate to sound like a broken record, but that's another example of women projecting. Because when a woman starts saying stuff like that, when she starts bringing up, you know, whatever your flaws are or whatever like that, she's doing it to try to hurt your feelings, you know, because that's how women fight. They fight emotionally. It's emotional warfare. But the reason the guy's actually doing that, okay, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys, because you guys might have even done this and not even know why you did it. The reason why the guy is saying, listen, man, what the fuck? You were with all these other fucking guys. Okay, what he's basically trying to say, or the reason why he's saying that, is because he's like, listen, you're not even in a position to be having this argument with me. You need to humble yourself. You need to calm down and realize that you're even lucky that I'm dealing with you, you know, on these terms based on your performance in the past and your past. And I have to deal with that. I have to deal with that. And I have to accept that. And you need to behave like you're indebted to me for that, because you actually are. You just don't realize it, because I'm over here affording you something that technically you don't deserve. Technically, you can't afford this. You didn't bring enough money, but the shop owner is letting you have these items or this service, and you can't even make the payment because virtue, you know what I mean, you know, is part of what you're offering a man. So the fact that you can't offer me any virtue or any purity, you're lucky that I'm even offering you the things that I'm expected to give you as a man. And that's what these dumb broads don't get. Okay, you will forever be at the mercy of a quality man when you've degraded yourself to this level. And then she went on to say, blah, 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 blah. I just think it's not fair. Well, there you go. You know what I mean? Typical, you know, female, especially pretty girl thought process is that when I can't have what I want, it's unfair. When I don't deserve something based on my behavior or my decisions, it's not fair. How is it not fair? It's literally the definition of fair. It is fair. You don't deserve this, and someone is telling you you don't deserve this, and you're over here saying that's not fair. No, what's not fair is you getting this and you didn't perform well. And there's other women who probably are holding on to their box. They probably aren't throwing their box all over the place. They probably aren't monetizing their box and selling it and having the nerve to profit off the same sexuality that they think they're going to go ahead and give to a special man in the future. That's ridiculous. Let me give something out for free to people that I think are attractive. Then let me sell it to people that I don't think are attractive, and then let me turn around and try to charge somebody for it. You know what I mean? So this is just, I just want you guys to know that this is how these chicks think, and that these are the chicks that are influencing all these other women, and you'll see more of that, as it goes on.
I've even like had that happen with myself as well, where I'm super cool at the beginning of a relationship, then maybe something happens or just like those feelings develop, and then you sort of just become like, the love sometimes makes you act in a way that you wish that you didn't.
I've definitely been like that. I've been in relationships where I'm like, I don't know why I'm picking this fight today, but
Back to being
it's like, who's this girl?
back to being a trophy wife. I know we didn't intend for this topic to go on the route of past sexual partners, but do you guys think that I should, a lot of people tell me, oh, you'll never be married, why would anyone want to date you? Do you think I should be excluded from ever being considered a trophy wife because of my past?
No, because once again, like I had mentioned, the concept of trophy wives is more focused on the man than the women, because it's in their eyes, it's like a possession, it's a prize that they value, it's something desirable, and you don't have to be the hottest girl, you don't have to be the smartest girl, you don't have to have a certain past, it's how they view you, so as long as you're the best version of yourself.
How you value yourself.
That's what I was it's how you value yourself.
More broken record time. She's projecting again. And before I dissect, what she's projecting on the guy and why the guy is going through those steps with her, I first want to point out her body language, her facial expression, the nods of confirmation, the convincing face and facial expressions. This is part of what makes these women so damn dangerous, because they know how to move their head and their neck and bat their eyes and and move their mouth when they pronounce their words to be very convincing. And that's obviously destructive to young girls who are buying into all this nonsense that these women are telling them, which is going to destroy them. But also, it's very convincing and deceptive to these guys. And this isn't even about, you're a simp or you don't have experience with girls, so you're going to get finessed easily. Bro, as men, we are wired to fall for this BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching the video and I'm halfway buying into it. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't do a little bit of research and figure out who Lana Rhoades is, because I don't watch porn. Sorry, I've literally dated more porn stars. I probably shouldn't use the word dating. I've fooled around with, messed around with more porn stars than I've seen porns. So I'm not trying to brag. I'm just letting you know that I'm not familiar with it. There was one chick, I don't even want to say her name because it's not necessary, but let's just say a state, the biggest state in the country is part of her name. I hooked up with her in the first time I went to Mexico, and I didn't even know who she was until I was showing guys the video. When I got back to Miami, I was showing guys the video and like, yo, you don't know who that is. I was like, I have no idea who that is, but her friend was saying her name like I'm supposed to know. Her friend was like, you don't know who she is? I was like, bitch, you don't know who I am? I'm like, I don't know who she is. Like, who I'm supposed to know who she is? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But what she's projecting now is she's saying that the guy's going to start watching the videos and all this kind of stuff. Now, I'm talking from experience here. I've been exactly where she's talking about, but I didn't go watch the videos and stuff. I couldn't even bring myself to do that. But I remember feeling like how she's describing, even though she's interpreting it incorrectly, I was that guy where I'm like, I'm starting to catch feelings for this chick. This is not, what we planned. This isn't how it's supposed to go. And if I may kind of cop the plea, I didn't even know what she did until the last minute. She literally told me, we went out and she told me at the last minute we had a really good time, and she just got real quiet and then she got real weird, and she was like, it's something that I want to tell you, but I'm afraid to tell you because when I tell guys they run away. And I'm like, oh man, is this chick got HIV or something? And that's what it was. She was a professional adult film star or whatever for Bang Bros, big company. She was super popular. I had no idea, but I remember catching feelings. Because at the time she was telling me she was going to stop doing it. She wanted to become a bartender, so I helped her with bartending school. She passed, with an 89, which was amazing because English wasn't even her first language. So she promised me that she was going to leave, which she didn't. She continued to do it. But I remember catching feelings and just being like, damn, I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to be attached to this chick. I don't want to have. But what happened was I wasn't even seeing anybody else, bro. Like, it got to that point where the sex was so good and I was just doing so many things. I was making money. I just, like, I wasn't really thinking about other girls like that because that's where it was. You know what I'm saying? She was a professional, put it that way. And I remember trying to control my feelings and not being able to. And I remember somewhat taking it out on her, not like questioning her, like, but I just remember like trying to provoke her to say something that would allow me to justify continuing to mess with her, or trying to break us up, basically. Like, it was like I was trying to sabotage the relationship. But it wasn't coming from a place of insecurity like what she's saying. Like, these women keep saying insecurity. It had nothing to do with insecurity, bro. You know what I'm saying? The first time I plugged in on that chick, she cried. So I in no way am worried about another dude's performance. Like, she was falling in love. So if she's spending the bread, she got the money, and she's the one catching feelings, why would I be insecure? That's ridiculous. What I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable developing I was uncomfortable developing feelings for a sex worker or adult film actress. That's what the issue
Said
was.
in the book that we read, Why Men Love Bitches, it said if you value yourself as a prize, they will see you as a prize as well. For example, in the past, I've said a girl cannot be the prettiest on the outside, but if a girl comes up to me and she's like, damn, I'm so hot, I'm the hottest girl in this room, I'm gonna double look at her and be like, is she the hottest girl in this room? Because she really believes it.
Yeah.
So if you believe you're a prize and they should be working to be after you and that you're the prize for them, they will start to believe it too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is you shouldn't let someone else tell you you're a trophy wife. If you know it and you believe it in yourself that you're a trophy wife, then people are gonna start looking at you and be like, "Damn, I want her. She's a trophy wife. I need her next to me
right now."
Yeah, 100%.
And I ain't even got a man no more.
All right, so as you can see, these chicks constantly contradict themselves. Like, that entire thing was just one big contradiction. It's like, many people have told me that I'll never be a wife, nobody will ever marry me, who wants to be with me? And then she asked other females what they thought. I don't know, are these chicks lesbians or something? How are you gonna ask them? So, all right, it's just retarded. Ask men. Ask men, you know, what they think about it, and just accept the truth and stop. That's another thing that I can't stand about women, is that they'll ask a question, somebody like me will give them the unedited truth, like, that's what it is, get mad if you want, or even might say it in a polite way, but someone tells them the truth and then they're like, all right, let me keep asking other people until I hear an answer that I like. It's like, if that's the case, then don't even ask anybody. Just tell yourself what you want to hear, because you're asking people and they're telling you what it is and you don't want to accept it simply because you don't like it, but yet you were signing those contracts and agreeing to do this type of work. Did you think there would be no consequence? So there's this, you know, wave of women now taking the social media and the internet or whatever, therapy, whatever, basically saying that OnlyFans ruined their life. And it's just like, where's the shock factor? Like, where's the news flash there? Like, how did you not think that this was going to ruin your life? And, you know, any guy could have saw that a mile away from when OnlyFans first came out. Like, what's the concept? Oh, that's not going to be good for women in the future. That's not going to be good for a chick when she retires. Duh. I mean, that's actually probably worse than being in the, you know, the industry, because believe it or not, adult film actresses, unless they're super popular, a lot of them don't even work as often as you think. These girls do like 1 to 4 scenes a month, like the average girl. They don't work that much. But if you're on OnlyFans, you're working like every day, you know, every day, and it's just basically out there for everyone. So what I couldn't understand is when girls act surprised that OnlyFans ruined their life, when friends and family found out that they had an OnlyFans. It's like, how did you think that you could keep that a secret when you need to promote OnlyFans on all of your other social media handles to get the subs to make it even lucrative and worth it in the first place? Like, you have to promote it to make it worth it, but by promoting it, you're telling people that you have an OnlyFans. So why would people not know that you have an OnlyFans? Why are mothers surprised that their children are being teased at school with their content off of OnlyFans? Like, why did you think underage people weren't going to be able to get a hold of that? When have underage guys, boys, not been able to get a hold of adult content? Before there was like TV, boys were getting magazines from their older brothers or fathers or whatever. There's never been a time in history where boys could not get a hold of pornography. So I don't know how women are just like, I didn't know that this would happen and it ruined my life and my parents disowned me. And it's like the amount of times where a girl's a girl's sister has gotten mad at her and went and told their mother that their sister has OnlyFans. This is your own sister snitching on you. And I've heard this from several different girls. Like, yeah, my sister told my mom that I have an OnlyFans, so having all these problems at home now. It's like, you didn't think your sibling was going to at some point in time use that ammo against you? Anyway, guys, it's really tough. You got to have patience with this kind of stuff. If you still are interested in having a good woman, you're going to have to look really, really hard, and you're going to have to work really hard to qualify. The competition is up there right now, guys. Or you're going to have to settle for a chick that's less attractive, and she's probably going to have to be from a small city or small town or something like that. You're probably going to have to know family members, and there needs to be all type of different degrees, you know, of people that you mutually know. It's going to be a lot. It's going to take a lot, guys. So I just want you guys to be realistic on what's out there. If you want the girls that look like this, chances are they're going to think like this.